Hi, my name is Everett Hutchins. This is the chorebot. It is a 3D modeled robot on Paint 3D. It is 100% my idea. I used mostly objects from right here, these 3D objects. I used some objects from the 3D library. Some of the features that I included on this robot are a washer and dryer, a microwave, a dishwasher, a recycling and trash can that was made by a tube. Then you take a flattened cylinder then you slide the flattened cylinder into the bottom and you group them together. That is how you make a trash can or a recycling can. Over here, you have a vacuum arm, and on this side, you have a vacuum tank. Then when you come over to this side over here, you get a incinerator. And all of the stuff that was thrown away and picked up by the vacuum would come over here through these tubes and end up powering the robot. The dishwasher was made by getting some cylinders, flattening them to really thin, then copying and pasting them, then building a little bar up front, and I made the dishwasher open to give a cool effect. Some questions here that I'm going to answer. Question A, did you use any material that needed copyright permission? I used Paint 3D to create this model. I used some objects from the 3D library over here. The only things that I got from the computer were an idea that all of the nicer robots, cooler robots, had very glowing blue eyes. So I thought that might be a cool feature to add on my robot. B, is your project complete? Does it function as you intended to? Yes, my entire robot is complete. There is no area of the robot that does not function how it is supposed to. All of the pieces in the robot work together to create a fully functional robot. Question C. What are some things about your project that make it unique? What creative steps did you take in the design process? Some things that make my project unique are the different spots where I added texture, like on this arm over here. You would take one of these, a tube, flatten it down, then once you slide it onto the arm, it gives a robot arm look to it. Over on the back here, you have this cord on the back over here that connects from the robot's head to the body. That was also had texture used on it. Then the next question, explain some parts of the software or the design process where you learned and applied new skills. Well, I learned about these 3D doodles over here, like that cord that I showed you on the back. You can take this tube brush, you can even change the shape of the tube, and you can draw. And you can draw almost anything. Here, you can turn it 3D and you have a really cool 3D shape. Also, you can use a soft edge over here And you can draw something like that. And then you can make that 3D, which is also a very cool feature. That is how I did these little dust pellets over here. I also used a lot of 3D objects versus objects from the 3D library to create this. And in my other projects, I really thought that you had to use these objects from the 3D library, but when I was using this project, I really learned that you could use these 3D objects to make a very complicated build. And over here on this can, all you need is the brushes over here. You take a pencil, you can use the color, and you can draw on any of the shapes. And you can draw a smiley face, a heart, whatever to give your model a little bit more life. Question E. What is the intended purpose of your project? The intended purpose of my project is to show what a robot could be capable of doing. This robot could help with chores day to day around the house. It could also help a differently abled person be able to do some chores either at all or chores that they couldn't do very quickly around their house, making their life easier. This robot would also help the environment because everything that gets thrown away and picked up then goes around to this back over here and gets reused to help the robot, which helps the environment by making sure nothing goes to waste. The easiest part for me was not running out of ideas. With this program, the possibilities are endless. You can use these shapes, shrink them down, connect them, group them in so many different ways. It's impossible to run out of ideas. The hardest part for me was definitely doing some things that I hadn't done before, like this part over here on the back. The way that you do this is you take a 2D shape over here, then you make it like that. Then you just turn down the sticker opacity and make it 3D. It's very simple, and you can have a little 3D see-through piece of glass. Some things that I learned was how to use this scribble, like I showed you before. It can really add some life to your build in ways that these shapes just can't. These are totally free and really have no limits. So I really like these 3D doodle shapes. That's why I really enjoyed learning how to use these. The most fun for me was seeing something come together. With this, there's so many different parts. Seeing this arm turn out the way it was, or the dishwasher come together, it just looks really, really nice. And you're like, oh, I did that. This is so cool. So the most fun was definitely watching the robot come together. And just seeing that anything is possible. This was the chorebot. Thank you for watching.